so welcome to our apprenticeship clinic. My name is Richard Kirk. I'm the founder of Workplus, and we just love running these sessions, helping you and maybe those you're advising to find out more about apprenticeships and to learn how to put together a really great application. I'm joined today by my colleague, Lucy Marshall. Lucy is the community manager at Workplus and will be taking us through some of the current opportunities and also what that application process looks like. So if you've already started your application, well done, that's great. Hopefully you can gain something from today. And if you've just found out about Workplus for the first time within the last few hours, you're equally welcome as you come and explore an apprenticeship either for yourself or for someone that you care for and want to encourage them to apply to an apprenticeship. So we have the time for questions at the end of the session. So please do type in your questions to the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen in the normal place, and we'll try and pick up as many of those as possible. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Lucy. Lucy, take it away.
Great, thanks so much, Richard. It's really great to be joining you all this afternoon to help you think through the Workplus application process for the different apprenticeship opportunities that are now live on the website. Richard mentioned about how this might be brand new to you. If so, you're very welcome. And also, if you have applied before in a previous campaign and you're reapplying, you're also so welcome. And we are really excited about the different opportunities that are available on Workplus at the moment. Hopefully you know the two steps to applying for an apprenticeship. So step one is to find the employer, find the job opportunity for your apprenticeship, and you can do that at the moment through Workplus on our current campaign. And then step two is to apply to the university or college where you will do your training for your apprenticeship, which is typically 1 day a week. Some different courses run for different amounts during the years, or run different boot camps or more intense weeks as part of their apprenticeship training. But when you're making your application to the training provider, you must make sure that you're applying to the apprenticeship course or the part-time course to make sure you're on the list for the correct course. So those are the two different parts to applying to an apprenticeship. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through step one, which is how you can apply to the job opportunity through Workplus. As you'll hopefully have seen on our website on workplus.app, we have a campaign currently running this month. Our applications opened last week and then they will close on Monday at noon. And you'll see there on the screen the key dates as part of this timeline where you can expect or know when to expect to hear from employers after the deadline if you've been successful to be invited to an interview at their company. And you can also know when you might expect to hear from an employer with a job offer if you're successful at that stage. At the moment, we've got 25 different opportunities across different sectors. We have opportunities in the likes of engineering as well as the likes of software and IT. And so there's great opportunities at different levels, at different stages, depending on what area you're looking at and are interested in. On our website, you can filter the different opportunities depending on what stage you're at or what suits your level of interest, as well as your skills and your strengths or what you've maybe been encouraged to look at as well. And then you can also look at opportunities from a map view. And we do have an opportunity at the minute in Omagh, which is brilliant, and other opportunities across Northern Ireland to suit a variety of different locations. So let's look at some of the current job opportunities for apprenticeships. Well, I mentioned the different levels of opportunities that are available, and here you can see that there's a level 3 opportunity in civil engineering. Level 3 is a suitable level for anyone who's just completed their GCSEs, or maybe you're looking to change career as well. And if you have GCSE qualifications, level 3 apprenticeship is a great next step for you. We also have higher level opportunities in the same area in civil engineering. So this is a higher level apprenticeship. based in Macrofelt for civil engineering, and higher level apprenticeships, level 5 and above, are suitable for anybody who's just completed their A-levels or who has A-level or equivalent qualifications if you're looking to reskill or upskill where you're based as well. We also have other manufacturing engineering opportunities. Here you can see we've got a mechanical manufacturing opportunity in Ballymena, as well as support engineers with the Lava Group, if that's what you're interested in. And those are both higher level opportunities. If you have A-levels or equivalent, you can apply to those. And we also have some smaller companies here looking for apprentices in a range of different sectors, the likes of building services, a level 4. And we have NIE networks who are looking to hire 10 different planning apprentices. So there's great opportunity to start your career at a large company like NIE Networks. There's 10 different positions, so they're taking on a cohort of apprentices to begin in their planning roles. This is a level 3 opportunity, so it's brilliant for anybody who has GCSE or equivalent qualifications and is looking for an entry-level role into an apprenticeship. I mentioned opportunities in computing and IT, and here are a couple of opportunities that you might be interested in if this matches your skills and your interests. And there's also a software opportunity, but looking more specifically at an audiovisual technician role, and this one is based in Uma. So once you've explored the different opportunities, kind of at a glance, you'll see as well on our website, we have the job description information for each opportunity, as well as information about the role, what you might be doing on a day-to-day basis, and the sort of person that they're looking for. And you can see the apply to job button at the bottom of that tab. You can also see the second tab, which is apply to course, and this is the second part of the apprenticeship process that I mentioned at the very beginning. So we have the information on each job opportunity of where you can apply to the job, which is through Workplus, and the link to complete that application, as well as where you can apply to the course, which is applying to the relevant college or university that employer wants you to study at. And you can just click on the link there to make sure that you're taken through to the right place to apply for the course. So for this particular audiovisual technician apprenticeship role, you might want to apply to the course that's relevant to it, which is at Southern Regional College. And when you click on that link, apply to this course, it'll take that button will take you to the right place to make your application direct to the college that is relevant. And we'd encourage you to do that as soon as possible because their places are filling up. Often the colleges work on a first come, first served basis. So we'd really encourage you to complete your application to the colleges as soon as possible to ensure that you have both parts lined up to increase your chances of securing an apprenticeship. You can see for this role as well, there is 2 courses that are listed, and that just means that the employer is content with you studying at either. So you might want to choose which one you apply to based on your location, where you live, but you also might want to apply to both to just increase your chances of getting a place on a course to be able to start the apprenticeship if you were successful to get the job with Hamilton Robson. So we've looked at the job opportunities, but we might want to learn a bit more about the employer. So here you can see that by clicking on the little blue bit of text for the particular employer in that light blue box, it takes you through to the employer's employer profile. And this essentially is just a page of information where you can see what it's like to work at that particular place, that particular business, the sorts of job roles that they do, what their roles are like. Are they based in an office or are they based on site or in a factory? What do they prioritize for employees? What sort of projects are they working on? Do they have any employee events for employees to celebrate the work that they're doing and their successes, maybe for awards dinners? You can see all that information on the particular employer profile for each organisation. We'd really encourage you to do your research on the company that you're applying to so that you can refer to that in your application. Employers want to see that you know a bit about their business, about their company, and so do have a read of whether you think it would be a good fit for you, and think about how you can touch on some of what they've said on their employer profile in your particular Workplus application. You'll also find links to different employers' social media pages for you to find out even more information about what they're doing. And you can just find as well the links to Workplus's social media by clicking the different social media icons at the very bottom of the Workplus website. We have a range of videos, a library of stories of different apprentices and employers talking about apprenticeships, and that might help inspire you when you're looking to make your application the best it can be, to think about how you can include some of the similar ideas in your application. So once you've considered the different job opportunities, you've researched the employers, you're ready to make a start on your application now. So what you can do is you can create your account just through the Workplus website, and you can create your account by adding your email to start off with. We send PIN codes to your email address, so you don't have to remember lots of different passwords. And then once you're through, you get to see your Workplus dashboard. We remind you of the different dates of the campaign on the dashboard so that you don't miss the deadline to apply, and that you know when to get your application in as well. You'll see that there's different tabs along the left-hand side for you to navigate the different stages of your Workplus application and make sure that you've completed it all. You'll also see there on the Workplus dashboard that there's a bit of information about disability action. If you would like further support with your application, you can reach out to either Michael or Heather at Disability Action, and they will support you with your application if that's something that you'd like to avail of. So let's walk through the application process. Well, we start off by creating our profile. This is the first part to your Workplus application. So you'll see there it's the first bullet point, and then there's two further bullet points. So there's 3 different steps to creating your Workplus application and completing your Workplus application. For your profile, you're asked a number of different questions as part of this, and we give you a heads up at the beginning so that you know exactly what answers you'll need to prepare beforehand. We'd really recommend you having a Google document or a working document or something that you can draft your answers and make them the best they can be. We'd recommend that you ask your teacher or maybe a parent or a friend for help as well to read over your questions or help you think through different skills that you have or experiences that would be worth including in your application. I know that I can sometimes find it hard to think about different things that I've done, and sometimes you just need help from somebody else to remind you of what would be really great to include in your application. So once you've seen what you need to do and once you've prepared your application, you're maybe then ready to complete the profile section of your application and walk through these steps. So to start off with, you're asked for your contact information, just all your regular information like your address and your date of birth. And then you're taken through to the next page, which asks you to enter in your qualifications. You'll see here that there's a particular format for typing in your qualifications to then select them from the drop-down list. You'll see the format once you get started, but just to note that you want to type it in the right kind of format or the right way to be able to find it. The likes of GCSE maths is not down as maths, it's down as mathematics. So if you're struggling to find that, just type it in the full sense. As you're entering your qualifications, it's really important that you enter all your qualifications accurately, because we have different filters that employers use when they're looking through applications. And so if you have A-levels, for example, and you choose not to enter your GCSEs, if an employer is filtering different applications based on GCSEs, they might miss your application. And so you don't want that to happen. And so we'd really encourage you to enter all your qualifications into your application, into your profile section, so that employers have an idea of what subjects you studied and what qualifications you have. If you are waiting to find out results, or if you're thinking about getting a grade remarked or anything, you can enter a predicted grade, and you can just enter that by selecting a future date. So that's the way around pending grades. You'll see that each qualification as well asks you for the grade that you got, as well as the place that you sat that particular exam. And once qualifications are added, you get a nice yellow message to say it's been added. So you'll just go through that process numerous times until you've added all your qualifications. Then on to the next page, which is employment and work experience. So here you can enter any part-time jobs that you've had, as well as any work shadowing or work experience that you've completed, maybe as part of school or as part of your holidays. Maybe you've been involved in different work experience programs. We'd really encourage you to enter what you think is relevant here, and talk about the different skills that you have or that you learned as part of those experiences. Employers want to see that you're a good fit in their team. They want to see you're a team player, as well as see the skills that you have and that you can bring. Employers talk about having soft skills, so those are communication skills or problem solving skills. They're skills that aren't necessarily knowledge based or academic based, and so this is a great opportunity for you to think through those skills and make sure that you write them down so that employers want to hear more from you and invite you to an interview. Once you've completed adding your employment, you'll be taken through to the next section, which is additional information. And these are the questions that you're asked, and these are the lengthier questions. So each question is 150 words maximum. And these questions help employers to shortlist through their applications to get a sense of the person and those softer skills that you might have, as well as considering your qualifications and whether you meet the eligibility checks. This is where as well it's good to have maybe another tab open of the particular job that you're applying to see what particular person is on the or person spec is on the particular job description. And then that just means that you're making sure that you meet the criteria that they're looking for, and that you're showing that you could be a good fit to their organisation. Employers also know particular stock answers when they read them, and so don't just think about things that lots of different people might say or might answer. Try and be creative with it, and try and think about how you can communicate your skills and your strengths in a unique way that gives a sense of the type of person that you are. And remember, employers are reading lots and lots of different answers and lots of different similar examples maybe, but it's a great opportunity for you to ask somebody for help and to try and help you think through how you can make your answer the best it can be. It's also helpful to have other people reading over your answers just to check for typos or spelling mistakes, things that are easily done and that somebody else's eyes might be able to pick up quicker than yourself. Because remember, employers are reading through your answers and they're getting an impression of yourself. Once you've completed those longer answer questions that you have, there'll be a couple of shorter answer questions to answer, as well as monitoring questions before completing the kind of tick box declaration and then being taken through to the dashboard again. This means that your profile has been completed, but as you'll see, there still is a 0 number in the blue circle, which means that you haven't completed your apprenticeship application. You've completed the first step, you've completed the profile, but it's really important that you don't stop here, because you still need to make your application to the specific apprenticeship job opportunity. So don't stop here, you're not finished yet. What you then need to do is press the red button on your dashboard to apply for the apprenticeship. And that takes you to a drop-down list, which lists the different apprenticeship types or groups that you can find on the job opportunity, if you can't remember which particular type the apprenticeship is. Select the apprenticeship type for the role that you want to apply to, and then you're taken through to another screen which gets you to rank the employers. It's really important that you consider your employer ranking, as employers can see whether you've put them first, second, third, and so on. You can also delete a particular employer from your listing as well. So if you don't want to go to a particular employer, apply to a particular employer, please do delete them. These employers are seeing your application, and so if they reach out to you, they expect to hear back from you. So if you decide that it's not feasible for you to apply to a particular employer, please do just delete them to help respect the time of the employer who's considering your application. And as I said, if you remember, you can go through to the job opportunity to remind yourself about the apprenticeship type that you're applying to, as well as the job opportunity or job description that will give you information for a particular role that you're applying to. The next screen after ranking the employers is to look at or tick the box to say that you've applied to the training provider. So remember, that's applying to the college or the university. And there, please just tick the particular training provider that you have made your application separately to. And here's just a reminder of how you do that. You do that separately directly on the website of the particular college or university. The last question of this section of applying to the apprenticeship is asking you why you want to start this type of apprenticeship. And this question can be made separately to each different apprenticeship that you're applying to. So it's a specific answer to the specific apprenticeship that you're applying to. And this is a great opportunity, again, for you to think about the specific employer you're applying to and the specific type of apprenticeship that you're applying to. You want to make it as relevant as possible, and you want to show that employer that you're particularly interested in starting an apprenticeship with them. Why are you thinking about an apprenticeship? And why are you not deciding to go to a full-time university or college? And why do you think that this industry is the right industry for you to get a head start in your career in? And why are you passionate about that industry? And think about how you can make your answer the best it can be there to sell yourself so that employers want to invite you for interview. Again, remembering the information on the job opportunity that you could highlight of how that is relevant to you, and you could explain about yourself in that answer box. Once you've completed those answer questions, then you will get a lovely thank you message, which means that now your apprenticeship application has been completed, it's been submitted. And so if you click visit dashboard, you can see now that there's the number 1 in the blue circle, which means you have 1 application that has been submitted for an apprenticeship. And you'll see in the table view at the bottom of your dashboard, your list of complete applications. You can edit your application up until the deadline, so you can make your answers better if you'd like to. You can update things if you maybe hear back about different bits of information. And you can also download your application in case you're preparing for the interview and you want to read over what answers you included in your application. You'll see as well that there's a red delete button beside your application, and would really encourage you to delete your application if you decide that it is no longer for you. Again, just thinking about respecting the time of employers who are considering your application. Every year, employers reach out to candidates and they don't hear back from them if they're reaching out to invite them to interview. And that's really disappointing for employers who, again, are spending time reaching out to candidates. They're spending time considering applications, reading through answers. So please do let employers know by deleting your application if you decide that an apprenticeship with them is not right for you. And please do respect their time. You can also make another application to a different apprenticeship type if you wish. So you can click the red box and you can go through the process again of applying for an apprenticeship with a different apprenticeship type or with different employers. So that opportunity is there. The third and final part to your Workplus application, and this final part is not compulsory, but would really encourage you to do that, is to take your suitability assessment. And that's where you'll see a yellow box on your screen if you have not applied to an apprenticeship on Workplus before, if you've not taken the suitability assessment before. And you can click the yellow button to be taken through to a new tab to complete the preview suitability assessment. This is essentially a job fit test to see how your skills match the particular job that you're applying to. It's to try and test you as a person, not just based on what a written application form looks like, but based on how you get on in different skill-based assessments and different quizzes or kind of shapes-based assessments. It won't disadvantage you to complete it. Please do complete it. Please do give it a go. It only takes about 35 minutes. And so we'd recommend that you set aside the time to complete this suitability assessment. Make sure that you've got good Wi-Fi signal so that you can fully complete it in the time and that there's no distractions around you. And then that will be submitted, your score will be submitted to the employer. But as I said, it won't disadvantage you. Employers just sometimes choose to use it as part of their shortlisting process, but it won't disadvantage you by completing it. Some employers as well use the results for successful apprentices once they begin to see where their strengths lie or where there may be more of a weakness, and they can help support you on that too. So it's helpful as for the whole process of applying for an apprenticeship. So as I said, once you've completed your suitability assessment, that yellow box will disappear from your dashboard, so you know that it's been completed, and you'll just see a list of your complete applications and incomplete applications if that's relevant as well. But at this stage, you've a completed application. You will have received an email to say that your application has been submitted, and that application just comes from Workplus. So if you want to double check it's been submitted, just keep an eye out for that email. And then now you just have to wait until the next stage of the timeline in the campaign. So as I mentioned at the beginning, our applications close on the 26th of August. They close on Monday at noon. And then employers will be shortlisting in those next couple of days next week. And then you may be invited by an employer for an interview at the end of next week. So do have a think about keeping those dates free to make sure that you're available for an interview, whether that's in person or online, as well as thinking about how you can prepare different examples to talk about in an interview if you're successful at that stage, and how you can do more research on the companies that you've applied to give yourself the best chance that you can to secure an apprenticeship. As a final reminder, apprenticeships will be starting in the coming weeks, so it is a quick turnaround with this campaign. And do make sure that you've applied to the training provider, whether that's the university or the college, to make sure that you're in the best case scenario for applying to an apprenticeship job opportunity and securing all the relevant things that need to be in place. But as far as the Workplus application process goes, that is essentially it. We have a chat function on the website if you have any further questions after today's Q&A that you'd like to ask. But for now, over to Richard again for the Q&A. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks, Lucy. That was really helpful to step through each stage of the process. And folks, if you have any questions, it would be great to hear them. So please do type them into the Q&A box. Lucy, you chatted earlier about how apprenticeships are for young people and for people looking to change careers. And there's a bit of maybe a perception that there's a hope of a job at the end of an apprenticeship. You know, is an apprenticeship a job from day one?
Thanks, Richard. An apprenticeship is a job from day one. As soon as you start an apprenticeship and sign your contract, you're an employee at that company. You will get a salary from that company, and we're hearing again and again from apprentices who've come through Workplus that they're getting promotions during their apprenticeship too. So that starting salary is not necessarily the salary that you'll stay on. There's great opportunities for progression during your apprenticeship, and it is a job from day one. You're working and learning at the same time. You're going to work, typically 4 days a week, and then you're going to university or college 1 day a week to get a further qualification. But it's a job from day one.
Great. And can you say a bit more just about the different levels that exist? Because you mentioned about the more concrete opportunity being level three. Can you say a bit more just about the different levels and the, can you go to university as an apprentice?
Mm. Great. Yeah. So at the different levels of apprenticeships can be quite confusing because I know for some people in school, you maybe hear teachers talk about different key stages or different levels in school, and it can be quite hard to keep track of what's relevant and what does what mean. For apprenticeships, we talk about apprenticeships that are entry level, which are level 2 or level 3, which are suitable for people who have a number of GCSEs or maybe have completed essential skills qualifications and don't have any GCSEs yet. There's opportunities at level 2 and level 3 for people with those qualifications. And then there's also higher level apprenticeships, which are level 4 and above. At the moment at Workplus, we have one level 4 opportunity, and then we also have a number of level 5 opportunities and level 6 opportunities. So level 5 opportunities are where you're working towards a foundation degree, and those are suitable for people with A levels or equivalent qualifications. And then level 6 opportunities are where you work towards a bachelor's degree, which is your typical undergraduate degree that people would do at university full time. So you can go to university as a level 6 apprentice. You are still an apprentice, but you're also getting to go to university. It's not either or, you get to do both. And yeah, those are the kind of breakdown of the different levels of apprenticeships and the different eligibility requirements. If you want more information on different eligibility requirements for each particular apprenticeship, it's best to check on the training provider's website. So that's the website of the university or college, and they're best placed to help you and support you to work out whether or not you're eligible, whether you have the level of qualifications needed for that particular role.
So that's great. Great. You mentioned about that application to the training provider. Can you maybe say a bit about just what's the balance or the rhythm between work-based work as an apprentice and being at college or university?
Mm. Yes, so it depends on the particular apprenticeship that you've applied to. Most apprenticeships are typically 1 day a week at university or college. So you'll join a cohort, a group of apprentices together. You'll all be doing the apprenticeship training. You're not studying alongside full-time students. You're just studying alongside apprentice students. And then 4 days a week, typically you go to work. That normally looks like a 9 to 5 job, but again, it just depends on the employer and the hours that they want you to work for them. Some employers will offer study leave when it's a busy time for you with examinations or assignments that are due from university or college. And other companies will want to support you in different ways as you try to balance learning on the job as well as learning off the job. But you're with a cohort of apprentices and you're learning, so you're able to share about how what you're learning in work is directly relevant to what you're learning at university or college. Or what we're also often hearing is that it's beyond what you're learning at university or college, and because you're progressing so quickly in the work that you're doing, you're at the forefront of what you're learning about in industry as an apprentice, compared to what you're maybe learning the academic side of things, that is sometimes due for an update. So there's a whole range of ways that you get to learn on the job and off the job as an apprentice, but typically your off the job learning looks like 1 day a week at a university or college.